There's nothing more frustrating than working with footage that's been interpreted improperly. To show you what I mean, I'm going to load up a RAM preview by pressing 0 on my number pad. So as you can see, it's a 3-second animation, and we just have a mask that's revealing these swooshy lines. Now I'm going to stop playback here for a second by pressing the spacebar. While that looks pretty cool, I think we could definitely step it up a little bit by importing some graphics. Now I've already rendered a graphic out of Cinema 4D as an image sequence. I did this because it's common for 3D designers to deliver rendered image sequences. That way you don't have to worry about codec or whether or not a system is Windows or Mac. Obviously, if I created it myself, I could have used a Cinema 4D layer, but we're going to have a whole chapter with that later. So for now, let's go ahead and import our graphic footage. If you open the graphics folder just by double clicking, we can go up to File and choose Import, and then choose Just File. So navigate in your exercise files to your footage folder, to the pre-rendered folder, and in there you should see a folder for the energized render. Now I'm just going to click on the first image, which is this TIFF image, and we'll make sure that when I click Open, it's set up as a TIFF sequence. So it will import all of these and create one self-contained file. When I click Open, it's automatically going to open this Interpret Footage box. Now it's unable to figure out what kind of alpha channel we're using. Now I know I rendered this with a straight alpha channel, but I'm going to go ahead and import it with pre-multiplied and click OK, just so you can see exactly what happens. Now let's drag our sequence down into the timeline. You want to place it just below the adjustment layer, and I'm already noticing one thing. First thing, the sequence is too short. So let's do some investigating and see if we can figure out what's going on. If you right click in the project panel on the energized sequence, go ahead and right click or control click and go to Interpret Footage. You want to choose Main. Under Main, assume this frame rate 30 was set up. Comp and my render was actually at 23.976. So let's change that to 23.976 and I'll press enter on my keyboard to select. Now you notice it's 3 seconds in one frame, and I can change the out point just by hovering over the right side of the layer and dragging it out to the end of the comp. Now you can see our text, and if I scroll in, so my magnification is set at 100%. You can see I've got some issues. Can you guys see the strange colours that are appearing and the jaggedness on the edges? Let me zoom in a little bit more, just to see if we can accentuate it. See those highlights right here? That's an improper interpretation of an alpha channel. I can see the white jagged lines, jagged edges around this are as well. So I'm going to go back by right clicking on the footage, going to Interpret Footage and choose Main. You could also press Shift Command G or Shift Control G. Now I've already changed the frame rate, so let's go up to the top options for alpha channel. Let's choose straight and then go ahead and click enter on our keyboard to accept it. Now, even though I'm in at 200%, look at the difference. I'm just going to undo that, see, and then redo. Now, if you really want to see how it's going to look, go back to 100% magnification, and we can undo and then redo. So when it comes to interpreting footage, especially when you're dealing with image sequences, it's very important to pay attention as to whether or not an alpha channel is straight or pre-multiplied. And of course you want to make sure to match your frame rate.